My name is Knut Relbe-Moe. I'm actually from Norway. So I'm working for Knowledge Factory, which is an infrastructure company in Norway. So I'm a chief technical architect, and I'm also the founder of the Norwegian Information Worker User Group, the Norwegian flag, and I'm Office 365 MVP. And here is my contact details. I also have a blog, so everything I've talked about today, I will also write on my blog afterwards. So, of course, what do you need to do if you want to set up a pilot for your customer? It's actually not too many steps. The first thing you will do is to set up a trial account. And then, of course, you need to add some users. Yeah, you can always move forward. You can always move forward if you want. So, and then I also usually, when I do this for my customers, I usually like to add some branding. So actually it can be something they can familiarize with themselves, maybe add their company logo or something like that. And of course, customize also your Office 365 tenant. So it will look like it's your company and not the normal Office 365 look. So if you see here, this is just a screenshot, but that's not fun. That's just in case nothing is working. I have some screenshots to show you. So I was thinking just to do it instead, to show you the small steps of how you can actually do this yourself. Let's go out. So the address, of course, is www.office365.com is one option, or usually I like to go as this one, deployoffice365.com. Okay, so we have the page deployoffice365.com. That's actually part of the fast track that Microsoft is having to help people to onboard Office 365. So here you have some options. You have the onboarding center and you have adoption offer. So usually you can just go to getting started over here to actually put up a trial account. So then when you scroll down, you can see first sign up for your Office 365 trial. So I just click here. Then we come to the welcome page. Of course, since I have a Norwegian phone number, I need to choose Norway here. If not, it will not work later. So I'm just typing my name at this case. Usually you will type in the customer's name here. I'm typing my email and my phone number. And evolution demo for today. Just clicking next. So now actually I should create the first user into Office 365. So I'm just typing a username, that's my name. And of course, this will be like the temporary domain when it comes to Office 365. Everybody's getting that on Microsoft.com. Usually you will put up your custom domain later. So let's just use Evo Demo. And then I'm creating a password. It checks for me if the domain is available. If not, it will offer something else. But no one has taken this one yet. Oh, sorry about that. The mice is like a little bit jumping around here, so let's just type in the password. And I will click next. Now it asks me for my phone number because I need to prove myself that I'm not a robot. So let's just type it in, and hopefully we have connection here to the phone as well. Yeah, I got the SMS from Microsoft, 78 19 18, and create my account. So now actually it's provisioning my tenant for me, and it will be soon ready. Creating my account. And you're ready to go. So just by clicking here. It also offers me to put in my phone number here, so in case I lose my account. You should remember from the previous page, but it's a small minor issue. So probably everybody has seen this page before. If not, this is the Office 365 Admin Center. So here you can see all the services, if they are running or not. So you can see there's no issues. And this is like the first step. The second step, of course, will be to add more users. So then we just go to users here, and we go to active users. Here you can actually do more than one thing. You can just click the plus button, and then you can add one-on-one user, or how I usually like to do it, I add multiple users. So then I have one option, and that is to use the CSV file. I have prepared one. So if I just open my file here, Office 365 users, open. I can also show it to you. It's here. So actually you can see that it's just username, first name, last name, and so on. So this one you can create for your customers with all their information. And the thing here is, which is important, is the domain where you're having here. You can see, can everybody read it, or shall I make it bigger? It's okay? Perfect. So here you see the username. So this one, of course, I need now to change to the domain which we just created. Usually here you will put in a real domain and not the onmicrosoft.com domain. But for this demo, we will just do it like this. So let's just close it and browse it again, so it will make sure it has the changed. And as you can see here also, you have the option to download a template, so you know how you should build it up yourself, or you can download a sample file, which will include the same usage which I'm using here. And then we're just clicking next. Now you can see that it's actually verifying your file to see that is it valid. So we can see that in this case 3 users passed the verification. So if I click next, I get settings. So of course I want to allow the people to sign in and access services, and I also get the option to set the location. Which location should all these users have? So I choose Norway for this test. And then the last set, of course, step is to assign the different licenses. So here you can actually assign licenses on the bulk way. And of course, the trial includes 25 licenses. So you can actually play around with quite a lot of users to check if Office 365 is the correct system for you. So let's click next. And now I can send the results to an email. Just unclick this one, click create. It will take some time, but now it's actually create all these users for me. And it's already finished. It's also create temporary passwords. So that is actually all there is to set up some users in Office 365. Do you have any questions? This is kind of simple, yeah? It's kind of easy. There's no reason why you shouldn't do this for your customers. Microsoft, they are kind of now moving to the cloud, whether we like it or not. So we need to kind of offer our customers the way to test it, try it, and see how they can actually use some of the services. And of course, you have in Office 365, you have Exchange, you have Link, or Skype for Business, that's its name now, and you have SharePoint, and you have all of those things. You don't need to use all. You can choose which of the services you want to use. And of course, Link is one which is really easy to set up. Exchange is also quite easy to set up. And if you look at the amount of data you get in an Exchange mailbox, for instance, it's quite difficult for the different vendors to compete with actually what Microsoft gives you just out of the box. But as an old developer, I usually don't like to do things in the graphical interface. So I can also do exactly the same as I did now in PowerShell. So I have opened up a PowerShell window here as an administrator. And also now you can see I get an email from Microsoft to get started with your Microsoft Office tenant. So to be able to kind of create users, we need first to connect to Microsoft online services. So this is just a commandlet, and then it pops up with a window to log on. So here I type in the username which I was using before, creating Evo demo on Microsoft.com, and my password. And if I typed everything correct now, it will work. So I also created a PowerShell script, which is actually quite easy. It just imports the same CSV file, and it just loops through each user which is in the CSV file and running the new MSOL user. So actually you can do exactly the same in PowerShell. So if you just run this script really fast, create, sorry about that, create users. Now you can see it throws some mistakes, and that is because the domain is wrong. I knew that, but I just wanted to show you that it's actually checking this as well. So I need again to open up the file, the create users. Because as you can see, the domain is not correct. So it actually runs a check to see that your users is actually connected to the correct domain as well. So I'm just fixing my domain. Like this. Closes the window. And then we rerun the same PowerShell script. And as you can see now, it creates my users. So if we go back to the Office 365 now and refresh this page, we can see that I have Peter Parker, Clark Kent, and Bruce Wayne also here. What I haven't done is I haven't assigned any licenses. This is another set of PowerShell commands which you can do exactly the same, or you can actually just do it from here. So if I select the user, you can see all the way down here. I hope you can see it at least. That assign licenses is have no license. So to assign, so now the user wouldn't be able to use any services because it just is created inside Office 365, but this have no services available since it doesn't have any licenses. So to fix that, we can just click Edit, and then we can just select here. And down or up, we just click Save. And now you can see that the assigned license is Office 365 Enterprise. Any questions? Does it look okay? Yeah? Is it similar to how you have done it yourself, or is it any different? Yeah? So this is like the first steps which we are doing to create an Office 365 tenant or trial or demo, so to say, pilot. So there are some requirements to be able to run the PowerShell as I was doing. You need first to install the sign-in assistant from Microsoft, and then secondly you need to install the Active Directory, the Azure Active Directory module for PowerShell. The links are included in the PowerPoint presentation, so just click it and you can install it. And of course, you also need to run PowerShell as administrator. If you run this as a normal user, you will get mistakes. And then the second thing which you should do is to kind of brand your Office 365. And the way I'm usually doing this is first, I brand the sign-in page, and secondly, I'm branding the access panel page. So this is also quite easy. So let's just do that as well. This only requires one more step. So we go down here, all the way down. It's a little bit difficult since the screen resolution is not the biggest. But you see we have something named Azure AD all the way down here. I hope you can see it also, but at least it's all the way down. This is something that came out not too far ago. Microsoft put this out. Usually it was only for Active Directory Azure premium services, so you have to pay something extra to be able to do this. But actually they have now rolled this out for the included Azure Active Directory. So we need to sign up for a subscription again for Microsoft Azure. My problem is that I have done this so many times, so actually my phone is blocked. So I have a colleague at home that should fast forward me this this authorization code. So hopefully he hasn't fallen asleep. So I will just find his phone number here. And also you need to pay attention to this one. If you change this one, you will never be able to change it again, besides recreating Azure. So I'm kind of need to have Norway here, because actually here you need to put in credit card information and so on, so to be able to do it. And I did it before earlier today as a Great Britain resident, and that didn't work so well. So you can again use the same email here on Microsoft.com. And then my friend Ståle, hopefully he is here with us today from abroad. See if I typed correct. No, it's 404. $53,007, yes. And then of course you need to choose Norway here as well. I don't have a Great Britain phone. So as you can see, I need to send a text message here. If I did this with my phone, it would just say I need to contact Microsoft support. And that's not so fun because I have done this many times. I had like standing and speaking. Actually, I was having an Office 365 roadshow in Norway, and then it's like also the same issue. So this is like some months ago, so hopefully they will sort this issue out. If not, I have problems with holding this demo. Should maybe use just like a throwaway phone, like for each time I'm doing it. So we will get the email in a few seconds with the verification. Until then, I can show you something else, because Microsoft has also come up with something which is really good, is this fast track. So actually, if you as a company is applying for access here, you can actually control all your different customers from this site. And you can see how they're running with the pilot and everything. So I recommend everybody to sign up for the Fast Track portal, because as you can see here, I have a list of my customers. You also get access to different labs inside of Office 365, which you can run. You can see, look at them now. So as you can see, you have a lab when it comes to how to set up Office 365 Hybrid with Exchange 2010 and 2013, how to deploy Office 365 Pilot like we're doing right now. So we actually have quite much virtual environments where you can actually look, and you will also get like step-by-step guide on how you can actually do this yourself. And if I would want to add a new customer, I will just click here, and then it will look up and see if the customer is already in the partner network of Microsoft. So then you have the chance to actually track how the progress for the customer is going when it comes to actually testing out the pilot. So let's see if I got SMS. I think I got something. No, not yet. He didn't get it yet, he's saying. Let's try to resend it then. Sorry about that, but I can't do much about it. It's Microsoft that is blocking me, so let's see. If not, I can show it to you on a tenant I put up earlier today, so we will just give it a couple of more minutes. If not, I will just switch to my demo tenant I tried to put up earlier. Actually, I think we just do that. So just 2 seconds. Then we are just going up here, signing out. Sign out. And then we're signing in with another and now you can already see how I have done it. You saw how the sign-in page here was changing, yes? So you can see that here I put in my own logo. I have put my own text down here, and I put another image here. So now I will show you how you can do it yourself. Because for me, this is actually adds a lot of value to putting up demos for the customer when you can put their logo inside the tenant, inside the signing page. It gives them value straight away. And they will think like, also if you are coming to the customer to present something, if you just have used these few minutes on just doing these things, they will kind of feel that you have a much better understanding of their needs and the fact that you are trying to do something which will make it look like it's their tenant and not only the Office 365 portal. So again, we are in here. I go to admin. And you can see I branded this one as well. So let's just go on Azure AD downstairs. Yeah, we still have some time. All right. So actually now we are inside the portal of Microsoft Azure. So here we have all the different services on the left, and we should go all the way down to the one and only, which is actually created here, which is called Active Directory. Let's see if I can manage to find it. Maybe I went too far. Traffic, Active Directory. And as you can see now, we have also the option to, yeah, where it is. I should have customized somewhere here, but probably the screen is too small. Let's go in, and then we go configure. As you can see there, on top is configure. Before this was not possible out of the box in Office 365. You need to have the premium. But now we can actually brand also the sign-in and access panel page. It's kind of easy. Everybody can see customized branding here. And actually, what is cool here, you can actually also add branding to different languages. You can have one for English and one for other languages if you want. So for this example, we'll do the default, which is for English. And now I will just show you how easy it is also to remove. So I'm just clicking the remove uploaded logo and illustration, and then we just click down here. And now you can see it's saving branding for my demo. So it works. It takes not very long time. It goes actually quite fast. Yeah, successfully saved branding. So if I go then to my other browser, and we're going to portal office365.com. I was already signed in, so let's just sign back out. As you can see now, this is how the typical branding is. You have the image here and the logo on top there. So now I actually want to add the branding. So then we go back here and we go on Customize Branding into the Microsoft Azure portal. And then you see we have a banner logo here. It should be 60 pixels on 280. So I'm just browsing for a file. So let's just see, speaking, evolution conference. And then we have a nice logo here. It should be SharePoint evolution. Let's try this one. And as you can see here, welcome to SharePoint evolution sign-in page. Here you can have around 250 letters. You can't easily change how it should look. You need to do, it will be like in the small font. If you want bigger, you need to customize it to JavaScript or something similar. But at least you can add some text there, some disclaimers maybe. And then we want to have the big image. So let's put the image for the roadshow which the Evolution Conference had last year. You can also choose the background color here if you want, but let's just for now have these two. And again, it saves to, and there was an unexpected error that also happens sometimes. Let's see. Yeah, the image is too big. So there's also some limitation when it comes to the images. So the big image, let's see, the big image here on left can only be 500K. So my image was too big. So then let's just, I had a JPEG image instead of the PNG image, which is smaller. So let's just choose that one. Here it is. Open and save. Now again we see that it's saving the branding. It goes actually quite fast. Here it is, successful. I like that a lot more than the error on the screen. So if we again is refreshing, this can take some time to roll out, but it should usually comes up straight away. Let's see if we will get it today. Okay. Customized. Let's just see that everything is okay here. It can take up to 1 hour to get this branding out, but when I did it earlier today, it took only a couple of minutes. So bear with me for some seconds. And hopefully it should be here. If not, I will show you the other customization and we will just jump back here. Yeah, let's just log in. Yeah, actually now it came. As you can see, now we have our customized branding login page for Office 365. And that's actually quite fast. It just takes literally a few minutes and then it's actually out. And then the other thing which we want usually to do, if I just jump back to my PowerPoint presentation for a few seconds. Just to summarize what I just did, you can actually change 3 things when it comes to the login page. You can change the large illustration, which is actually the one you can see with the image, the one which is over here. This is the large illustration. Or this one you can either use a picture or you can use a background color to change. And then you have the sign-in page text, which is all the way down here. And then you have the banner logo, which is on top here. This is the 3 things you can customize just out of the box with Office 365. But still you get like a company feeling. If you add the company logo to the site, you get like a company feeling. You get a feeling that it's your portal and not just Office 365. And as you noticed when I was showing you the demo, it's some limitations. Here, the banner logo, it has to be JPEG or PNG. It can only be 10K, so it needs to be quite small in size. And of course, that is for the speed. If the image will be too big, things will take longer time to load. And the tile logo is exactly the same. It should be 120 and 120 pixels. And then you have like the sign-in page username label. You can also actually change to what you want yourself. And the sign-in page text, which should be not more than 256 characters. And it can only be plain text, which I think is a little bit sad, because if you can actually add some HTML code there, you can actually brand it in a much bigger way. But maybe it will come in a future update, some possibilities there. And of course, this page illustration, which is the big one, as you can see here. This one can be up to 1420 on 1200. So if your screen is smaller, it just will kind of resize everything and show just part of your image from left to right. So that's why usually it's important to put the logo here and not over here, because then it can be, it will be gone if the screen is really small. So the other thing which you want to do is to customize the theme for our organization inside Office 365. So it will reflect your organization's brand. Because usually inside Office 365, everything is looking the same if you don't do anything. So if we go back to my site here, you can see the already result where I actually was doing the customization. And I will show you how easy it is now. So we will just go back to the admin portal here. I will go to my company information here, and then you can see custom theming. So actually it's just literally 3 clicks and you will be there. When you see custom theming, you can apply your custom logo, you can apply your color. So if I change the color here, you can see that the color changes straight away over here. And if I want to, navbar is this one. If I want to change the color there, I'll just do the same. And I have changed the color. And I can also change the URL from where you want to go when you click this one, the image on top here. And of course, to change this one, just to click change. Again, go to my SharePoint speaking, evolution conference. Let's just do this one instead. Yeah, it was too big. So again, you can see that it checks that things is in the smallest amount of size. And that is a good thing. Yeah, let's just do the same one, JPEG, or we can actually just remove it. And then you can see, if I select the image, you can see how easy it is to get it there. And there you go. So it's actually really, really easy to customize your Office 365 pilot. It's really easy to put the company's logo for your customers. And it's exactly the same if you use a SharePoint service, so to say. You can actually do the same. It's also quite easy there. So just click Save. And this is saved, and it's provisioned to all the users at once. So quite fast and quite easy. So this was the demo I was just showing you. So when it comes to resources, I have attached resources where you will get PowerShell commandlets, where you will get a step-by-step guide on doing exactly the same thing which I was doing now. Microsoft has these things on their blog and on MSDN on how you can customize the login page and how you can customize the branding in Office 365. Some pictures, so I will wait some minutes here. And then I will just briefly, we have a few minutes, just speak briefly about the fast track. Because I think that is actually really good, especially if you are like a company that sells Office 365 licenses, or if you have like a lot of customers which you should help with Office 365, you should look at the fast track of Microsoft. Because the benefits of it is that you can build from a pilot, and later you can actually put up the DIR-sync to actually synchronize your users from your on-premise environment to your Office 365 environment. And you can actually also enhance different settings inside Office 365, SharePoint, Exchange, and so on later. It's like a way of Microsoft and how you should actually move fast to Office 365 and to start to use the new services. So as you can see, the first step will be to do exactly what we did now. The second will be to deploy it, when you will actually start to start to put out your Exchange into Office 365 instead of having it on-premise, for instance, or migrate all the users from on-prem Azure to Office 365 Azure, or to put up the DIR-sync, the connection between them. So first of all, when it comes to pilot, is what are you setting up? You are just setting up Exchange, SharePoint, everything inside Office 365. And when it comes to deploy, what you will do is you will actually set up the password sync. You will put in your customer domain, because for now I was just using the onmicrosoft.com domain. Usually when you start to kind of put things out there, you need to add the custom domain. You need to add like the settings inside the domain services and so on. And then of course you need to do migrations. You need to kind of help the customer to move from the on-prem environment to the Office 365 environment. And this is the way to do it, as Microsoft is saying. So the pilot experience is, of course, you will set up everything in the first day. It's really fast and easy. And I did it now just under an hour. So it should be quite easy for you guys to do the same. And what you're doing when it comes to identifying how you log on to the service, you use your Windows Azure Active Directory. That is like the thing, you're just creating temporary users into Active Directory Azure. And later you will connect those users with your on-premise users in step 2. So when it comes to deploy, the step number 2, this will usually take several days. It's like much bigger. And what you do here is you will integrate the identity management, so you will actually be able to log on with the same user in your on-premise environment as your Office 365 environment. And you will start to migrate your mail, your calendar, and contacts from the on-prem environment to the Office 365 environment. And here, when it comes to identifying for the end users, you will usually just use your on-premise account because that will synchronize to the Office 365 account with password and everything through the DealSync service. So then we have the second step, of course, when it comes to deployment, is you need to move the Exchange. Usually, to my knowledge, is the first thing that actually the customer is moving from an on-prem environment to an Office 365 environment is Exchange. You're moving your Exchange environment from your on-prem to the cloud because you get that much, you get 50 gigabytes of a mailbox, which is like really, really much. So, yeah. And you don't need to kind of have people which is upgrading and rolling out service packs and everything on your on-prem environment. So when it comes to the migration, you have different options. One option, like I was talking with some guys in the hall about, is you can do a hybrid setup where you have like something on-prem and some in the Office 365, or you can do like a full-out migration process. And this one is showing what is supported. So PST migration is supported on everything. And then you have EMAP, which is supported also on everything because usually you use third-party tools to do that. And then you have the hybrid setup, which is actually supported only on Exchange Server 2010, Service Pack 3 or later, or Exchange 2013. So to do the deploy step, you need to have the identification process. So what's required for that is you need to have the directory sync set up. So that usually means you need to install this DealSync service on one of your on-premise servers. And then you will do the mail migration. So password sync is the alternative to federated authentication, and everybody is doing password sync these days. It's much easier. You just get your password just synchronized to Office 365. It's really, really easy to set up. So the benefit for the customer is they get single set of credentials. They can use the same username and password both on-prem and in Office 365. And the nice thing about it is also the password is encrypted, so you don't need to worry about the security here. So, and then of course one other tool which you usually need to run when you are putting up the DealSync is actually need to fix issues with your local Active Directory environment, because maybe it can be some mistakes in that environment which you don't want to transfer from your on-premise environment to your Office 365 environment. So the tool Microsoft has for that is ID Fix. So what that is actually doing is it just suggests fixes, and then you need to approve the different fixes for you. So for instance here you can see that the username, the name is spelled with a big E here and a big T here, and that is not nice looking. So what this one is doing is it will then come up with suggestions, and then you will just fix it, which will make everything look clean and correct in Office 365. Because this is something you all should remember when it comes to every migration. Don't migrate things that doesn't look nice. Fix things up before you migrate. And also when it comes to SharePoint or file server or something, which many people is also moving to Office 365, then do the same. Don't migrate everything. Look through what you have. Maybe you don't need to move everything to Office 365. And then we have the Exchange 2010, as I mentioned. To do the hybrid setup, you need to have Exchange 2010 Service Pack 3 or later. And if you want more details on that, you can look at TechNet, or you can just privately message me and I can set you up with one of my colleagues which is expert in this field. And of course, after you have put up everything, you have put up the directory synchronization, people can sign in with the same username, password, both on-prem and on Office 365, then you need to start to take advantages of the new platform which you're having, and that is the enhance part of the fast track. So then, of course, it is sign-on, advanced integration. You can use Active Directory Federation Service. You can also then start to trust others. You can start to use it to trust third parties. You can start to trust your customers. Your customers can get their username and password also to access your SharePoint portal, for instance. And then, of course, when it comes to collaboration, you can start to integrate Link and SharePoint together in hybrid setups, for instance. And you can also put up Exchange Online Protection and other services as well. So then you can start to use like the new services of Office 365. You also have something called Delve, which I've talked probably much about this week, which you can also then start to use to kind of work in a different way. But first, to be able to go to this step, you need first to set up the pilot, and then you need to set up the directory synchronization between the on-premise and the Office 365, so the customers or your organization can log on with the same username and password. So this is like the step-by-step way of doing the fast track of Microsoft. First, set up the pilot, which we did today. Secondly, set up the directory synchronization so people can use the same username and password. And then third, but not least, is to start to use the new services. Because maybe your customers, maybe yourself is not using Yammer today, so that would be a good thing to look at. Maybe they don't use Link or Skype for Business, as it will be called now. And then it will be a good thing to look at that as well, because then they will get more back from their investments. So that is also one thing I will challenge you all on. Try to look into all the aspects of Office 365 and start to use the different services which is provided there. Yammer is really good for networking, and then you have Skype, which is really good for collaboration, online meetings, and so on and so forth. And then you have Delve, which of course is really, really good when it comes to helping you to find the information you are looking for. And as I mentioned, third-party migration when it comes to Exchange and SharePoint, for instance, you have a lot of vendors. Some we had downstairs. But when it comes to Office 365 migration and email, you have Skykick, for instance, as one, and you have BitTitan with their migration Wiz, which is probably the most used when it comes to migrate Exchange from on-prem to Office 365. Because sometimes maybe you don't have access to the Exchange environment, and then you can't use Exchange Hybrid setup, because you need to have access to the servers to be able to set it up. So if you don't have access to that, I will recommend to use like a third-party tool. This is 2 examples. There are plenty of others. And here again, you have some resources. Microsoft actually have a couple of good guides where you can just click and follow. And that is it. Thank you so much.